Research shows negative experiences tend to affect us more strongly than positive ones, but a new book tells us how we can actually turn that bad into good. The book is called The Power of Bad, How the Negativity Effect Rules Us and How We Can Rule It. Instead of dwelling on the negative, we can use it to learn important lessons like how to be a better parent and argue less with a partner. New York Times contributing columnist John Tierney co-wrote the book, and he is here with us. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
This is a great way to start the new year because we all have this tendency to focus on the bad. You know, even when there's a lot of good in front of us. Why is that?
You know, our brains are wired to focus on this. It's called the negativity effect. And there's this universal tendency for bad events and bad emotions to affect us more strongly than good ones. And there's a reason it evolved, because it helped our ancestors survive threats. And it can still be very useful. I mean, you can harness the power of bad for some really good purposes. But we just overdo it. And we focus so much on the negative that we miss all the good things in our life. And we'd be happier and more productive if we could learn to go on a low bad diet.
So low bad diet.
I like that. So we do that by what? When we make an error or put our foot in our mouth, and we say, oh, okay, that's a bad thing, but it's also an opportunity to get better.
That's right. It does teach you to get better. It's a great power to learn from your mistakes. You know, you learn more from failure than from success, and penalties are much more effective at motivating workers and students than prizes are. Yeah. You know, but when you do make that mistake, it's not enough to just do one good thing for it. You know, there's what we call the rule of four, that it takes typically 4 good things to overcome one bad thing. So if you're late for one meeting, you don't make up for it by showing up early the next time. If you say one bad thing, aim to do 4 good things to make up for it.
Why is it 4? That seems like a lot.
Bad is just that much stronger, and they've gotten that by studying people's diaries, people's moods, and they see typically that that's how it works. And the lesson from that really is that we pride ourselves on all the good things we do for our friends, for going the extra mile.
Yeah.
But what really matters is what we don't do. You know, that avoiding bad is far more important than doing good. You know. You get relatively little extra credit by going the extra mile, but you pay a big price for falling short.
How do you deal with or reconcile with avoiding the bad when we're constantly on social media? A survey found that 1 in 4 Americans have said negative comments online can ruin their day.
Yeah, well, I mean, that can definitely happen, but I mean, that's why we advise this low bad diet, to curate your social media feed so you're seeing 4 good things for every bad thing. And, don't read all the bad comments about you. You know, when you read one bad comment, read 4 good ones to compensate.
You talk about relationships in the book, and you share marriage advice that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg got from her mother-in-law, which was, it helps sometimes to be a little deaf.
Right, that is great advice, because researchers have found that, that marriages, their success is determined by how spouses handle negativity. Yeah. You know, and in a good marriage, they learn to be a little deaf, they learn to ignore their other partner's flaws. They develop
be a little blind also. I think it's a corollary. Yeah,
exactly. You have to develop positive illusions. And when something goes wrong, you either ignore it or you give your spouse the benefit of the doubt. And if you do have to respond, stay calm and don't escalate the conflict, because bad emotions are so powerful that a small disagreement easily spirals into a major fight.
So would you make that point more broadly? If you want to criticize somebody but you don't want to add to their negativity diet, right, how do you do it?
Well, start with the criticism. People often start with praise because it's easier to do that. But what happens is then when you slip in the criticism, it's such a jolt to the brain that they just forget all the praise.
Yes.
So start with the bad stuff and then add lots of good stuff later on.
I like that.
I like it too.
Low bad diet. One bad comment can haunt you. It really can. Right?
Yeah.
How do you find those 4 good ones on social media?
You
said pick out the 4
one piece
good
of advice
ones.
we have is have somebody else read your comments for you and tell you, and then give you the useful ones and screen out the bad ones. Because once you see the bad ones, it just ruins your day.
Yeah.
It sure does. All right, John Tierney, thank you so much. The Power of Bad is on sale now.